So, today I'm going to talk to you about how you can start to free up some of your time and you can start to use this time on a big goal. So, you might start to realize that you want to accomplish a big goal, whether that's lose weight or you might want to start a business or you might want to get promoted at your job. Whatever the big goal is, the first thing you need to realize is that you're going to have to spend all of your time and energy on that goal if you actually want to accomplish it. So, because of that, you're going to need to free up some pockets of time and you're going to need to have as much time as you could get so you can use this time to work on your goal. So that's what I'm going to talk about today is how I freed up the things that were killing my time and allowed me to spend more energy and focus on this one goal. And for me, that big goal was starting a business. So my first business was a social media marketing agency, and I did that alongside my full-time job. And I realized if I actually want to get this thing off the ground and I actually want to get clients, I'm gonna need as much time as I can get. And it it totally made time a lot more scarce, especially when I had my full-time job. And there would be periods where I would tell myself oh, well, I'm in a full-time job, so I really can't work on business and have a full-time job. There's just not enough time. And I just didn't realize there are people that do start a business and actually become successful in business outside of their full-time job. So, like, I'm just gonna be honest, the excuse that, oh, I don't have time, it's it is an excuse. And I'm not calling you out because I made that excuse myself. Oh, I don't have time to do this. How am I supposed to have time? The key to to really prioritize what you're spending your time on. So that's kind of what I learned how to do. And the ways that I did it were the first thing that I did to really have this sense of control of my time is I viewed I viewed time as sort of like a number, and that number was 168 hours. That's the amount of hours in a week. So what I did was allocate the 168 hours into the necessary things, basically the most priority things. And you have to realize the most priority things are they first start with your basic needs like sleep, food, um, food, working out, getting sunlight, the basic priority things. And then really anything outside of those basic needs, all the leftover time gets allocated to the business. So that's kind of the mindset that helped me is having this time bank. And when I realized my number one priority was getting the business off the ground, that's where that's where the extra time went. Any extra time I had would go to business. It wouldn't go to hanging out on the weekends. It wouldn't go to like socializing. It wouldn't go to taking long walks in the park. I really had to I really had to cut things down. So another thing I did along with viewing time as a number is I basically cut down on some things that I didn't it kind of sucked to cut down on, like sleep. I had to cut into my sleep just a little bit. Instead of getting 8 hours a night, I got 7 hours of sleep a night. And I'm a big proponent of sleep, but I realized that just that hour there could help me get some more time to work on the business before I started my full-time job. So that, if you think about it, that gained me an hour every single day. Another thing I did was I viewed all the things that were killing my time. So you may not realize, but things like Netflix, things like social media, and like mindlessly scrolling, not only are those like leisurely activities, they are they are time killers, and time killers as in like if you spend 30 minutes doing these things, that's 30 minutes less that you get to work on your goal. And so it adds up. So I sort of like got more aware of all the things that were killing my time. And it was like Netflix, it was scrolling on social media, and even a step further, notifications on my phone. I started to view any notification as a time killer. So if you can kind of create a separation from yourself and all these time killers, then you have a lot more control of your time. That's what I found. And that was that was like mainly the things that I did that made me feel like I had a little bit more control of my time, and it made things a lot more clear. So, I'm going to tell you how you can actually like implement this in your life. Your goal might not be business necessarily. Your goal may be more along the lines like relationships. Maybe you want to develop your relationships a little bit more. Maybe you want to like get straight A's this semester. Maybe you want to get promoted at your job. Maybe you want to build like a good body, or you want to lose like 20 to 30 pounds. What you have to realize is that you may even have a couple goals. You may have like 4 or 5 things you want to do. You may want to get better at your relationships. You may want to make a little bit more money. You may want to get the body that you want. But the key is that if we try to do all of these things, then we're going to accomplish none of them. Like if we try to do all these things at the same time, then we're not going to accomplish any of them. So the key is to figure out what number one goal that you want to do out of any of these other goals. You want to get rid, for now, you want to get rid of all the other goals. And you're just going to have to pick the number one priority thing. For me, the number one priority thing was business. And so for you, if you want to get a better body and you want to get better at your relationships and you want to make more money, might want to start a business. Pick one. And it sucks to say, but you're going to have to put the other ones aside for now until you can accomplish that one goal. Then, when you have this one goal, now things become a little bit more clear. You kind of know you kind of know what to be spending your time on. So, once you have this goal and you know what to be spending your time on, maybe you can view time as a bank, like I did. You can view a week as 168 hours of time, and you can start to figure out how you're going to allocate that. So don't forget about the basics like sleep and exercise. That's okay. Even if your big goal is like business, exercise is okay. And eating, you're obviously going to have to eat, but really try to like once you get through the basic stuff, then you're going to have like time left over in your bank. Now you can start to allocate that time to your big goal. And I found doing this as like a pretty good like visualization to to see how to spend my time. So another thing that might help you is to start to become aware of the things that are killing your time. So the way you can do this is just take a look back at your past like week or even like month and ask yourself out of out of all the things I was doing, what are some things that were killing my time? Was it was I watching Netflix a little too much? Was I on my phone scrolling a little too much? Was I just like laying around and kind of like not doing anything? The more like detailed you could be about this, the better. So maybe you want to make a list, and that list you will include all of the things that are killing your time and then the amount of time that you were spending on these things. And what this is going to do is it's going to start to get you aware of the time killers and give you a more general sense of like, oh, that's where my time was going. And like I'm still working on this myself. Like for me, this morning, a couple things I did that went against my big goal was I was looking at my phone and I was looking at the notifications and I like was clicking on a couple different like tabs and like it's very important to be like task focused and then become aware of the distractions that are taking us away from the task. So hopefully that makes sense. But the main key is to become aware of the time killers. So another way to become aware of the time killers is, and I know I say this almost every video, but meditation. The way that I meditate is very simple. I sit literally like right there, like alongside my bed, and I like sit up and with my back straight, and I keep the window open. I look out the window, and all I do is sit still. and my focus is just on a still anchor point. You can have your focus on your breath. That that helps, and most people will recommend you to focus on your breath. Maybe I'll try that myself. But for the most part, your anchor point can also be your body. Like like me right now. If I'm focused on my body being relaxed, then that's meditating. And you'll realize that during this process, you're going to get thoughts. And the key is to just notice these thoughts or notice that you are having a thought. For example, like if I'm focusing on my body, my body being still, and then a thought comes up like, shit, I gotta go to the gym today, or I said this at the gym to that one person. The key is to just notice that, oh, that was just a thought. And what helps me is like I literally just view it as like a thought bubble and then let it just float away. That's the key, I think. So you can do that with your meditation. And another thing that I like to do when I'm meditating is reflecting. So for this specifically, the thing you want to reflect about are the things that are distracting you and the things that are killing your time. So, me currently, right now, if I were to sit down and reflect, some of the things that I would realize that were killing my time were, like I said, I walked over and checked my phone and like checked my notifications. That was technically a time killer. So, reflecting and meditating are going to be the best things for you in becoming more aware of your time. So, hopefully this all makes sense and this helps you accomplish a big goal and learn how to sort of free up your time and allocate that more towards your big goal. So, yeah, just another main point is that mind wandering can also take like be a time killer. So, it's interesting, simply just like overthinking and mind wandering can also be a time killer. So, the way you become aware of that is through meditation and reflecting. So hopefully this helps and you feel like you you can start to become more aware of the things that are eating up your time and getting in between you and your big goal. So hopefully this helps. Hit that like and subscribe button if you got some value out of this. Thank you.